Hello, I'm Simon Chaplin and I've literally just finished one of my mastermind groups for accountants called Darners, and I'm pleased to tell you that at today's event the delegates reported that they'd completed 26 of the 28 actions that they set themselves back in May. So that's 26 different things that the delegates had completed in total out of a total of 28. So there was only 2 that hadn't been completed, and one of those was halfway there. It was a bigger project that they are still working on. After I'd held the delegates accountable for the actions that they was taking, and then they shared the successes that they'd had, we then moved on to best practice. Now, best practice is where we share some ideas, some tips, some tools of things that we've discovered since the last time that we was together. And I've picked out 3 that I specifically want to share with you on this video. The first one was around some wording that we use. Very often as accountants, when we're talking to clients, we'll ask them to describe some problems that they've got or some challenges that they may have. And it came to light today that if we change that word around problems or challenges to the word frustration or annoyance, because people relate far easier to emotional responses, if we say what annoyed you in the last couple of months or what's frustrated you in the last couple of months, they're much more likely to give you a response, an answer, than if you ask them if you've been challenged or if they've been had a problem in the last 12 months. Somebody also shared an app called Scannable, and the Scannable app sits on your phone, and basically you take a photograph of a document, and because it's designed specifically for taking photographs of document, it removes anything from outside of that document. It does some OCR, some optical character recognition, and then stores that document in your phone. So it's a far more sophisticated piece of kit than just normally taking a photograph with your normal camera on your phone. And it also connects to Evernote, which is another great app that I use, and uploads that into that file. And then the last one is something that's been coming up in a number of groups that I've been involved in over the last 2 or 3 months, and that's Frutili, which is an app that works alongside Xero and extracts the data from Xero and turns it into graphs and whatnot for the client, and also works out and fires off email reminders if certain KPIs have hit. So that's getting quite a lot of good publicity, a lot of press around me at the moment. After the break, we then had a guest speaker, as we normally do, and this month's guest speaker was a chap called James Thomas, and James talks about negotiation. And in our session this morning, a bit over 2.5 hours, he talked around how accountants poorly negotiate price, or in some cases obviously don't negotiate price at all. And those 3 things, or the top 3 things that I took from James's session was, if somebody asks you a question that you don't want to answer, the easiest way to get out of answering that question is to ask them a question back, or what the politicians do is ask the question that you would like them to have asked you, and then answer that question. So if somebody asks you a question that you don't want to answer, ask them a question back, or alternatively ask yourself the question that you wanted them to ask and then answer that question. Just a really simple, easy tip. Another tip was never give anything away for free. So if you're negotiating with somebody and they're asking for a discount or a change in the conditions, then always ask them for something in return. And it's far better to ask them for something in return and then give something away, rather than give something away and then ask them for something in return. Because obviously, if you've already given it away, they're not duty bound, or may not be duty bound, in order to honour their promotion. And then the final tip is that you never give a breakdown on price. So if you've quoted somebody for accounts and payroll and bookkeeping, if they ask for a breakdown of how that's split across the 3, do not give it to them, because then they can pick on 3 separate prices to negotiate on rather than the price for everything. Now, if they don't want VAT in it, of course, then you remove that and you give them a price for the accounts and the payroll combined. So there's a fantastic session by James around negotiating and how to negotiate prices and indeed contracts with people. In the afternoon session, we looked at hot seats, and specifically we helped 2 of the delegates to look at how they can free up time for their client managers in order to take on more responsibility from them client managers. And then the second one was we talked about working out a plan for retirement, and what that would look like. And that provoked some thoughts in me around what my retirement's going to look like and what sort of retirement planning or lack of retirement planning that I have in place. So it's been a really fantastic day, pretty emotionally intensive for me, but very productive, and all of the delegates have gone away with lots more actions to implement over the summer in their practices. So if you would like to come along and experience a Dana's Day, which you are more than welcome to do, all you have to do is give me a call or drop me an email on simon@socksupsimon.com, and we'll have a chat about how it works and whether there's a fit between what we do and what you want to achieve. The next date to put in your diary is the 3rd of October, and the guest speaker that day is a chap called Nigel Risner, and I've been working extensively with Nigel over the last 18 months to 2 years, and he gets repeatedly the highest scores of any of the speakers that come along to Dana. So it's a fantastic opportunity on the 3rd of October to come along, experience Dana's, and experience the force, enthusiasm, motivation of Mr. Risner. So as I say, if you want to come along, just pick up the phone, give me a call, or drop me an email, and we'll see if there's a fit. That's all for now. Catch you soon. Bye bye.